Behind me, we have 3 Ford GTs, and today we're gonna drive all 3 of them, starting with a dead stock, unmodified Ford GT, a Whipple Supercharged Ford GT, and this, a 1200 horsepower twin turbo GTX1. We're gonna find out how much of a difference these mods really make to the car. What I wanna find out, is it worth the extra 150 grand? Our first car that we're gonna go over is this completely stock 2005 GT. It comes from the factory with a 5.4 liter supercharged V8, 6-speed manual, and it is great. These are collector cars. They're quickly growing in value, especially over the last 6 to 12 months. They're fantastic cars, and they're great for what you get. So we're gonna hop in, we're gonna find out what a stock GT feels like, looks like, and drives like. We are driving the stock GT. It is pretty bone stock. It's quiet. It's relatively decent ride. You know, height-wise, it's okay. It's not, you know, looks-wise, doesn't look that great. But driving-wise, this car has been maintained for a really long time, and it's super well done. It's got 11,000 miles on it. Yeah, the power on this is good. It's delivered really well. Supercharger is a big part of that. It delivers good torque, good linear power without, you know, really throwing you back in your seat in like a violent way. I think when we drive especially the twin turboed car, that's gonna have a much harder, more direct feel once that boost kicks in. But this is like, sounds corny, but it's daily drivable. I mean, it's a very controllable power gain. It delivers really smooth, really nice. You feel it in the low end, you feel it in the mid-range, you feel it in the high end. It's a controllable amount of power. And I think that's the main thing, is if you're not power hungry and you're looking for something that's fun and, you know, peppy in that way, it's a great car. I mean, it's in stock form, it's good. It's a little boring driving experience compared to a lot of the other cars that we do get. It's okay, but definitely leaves a lot to be desired. All right, now that we've driven the stock GT, we have to hop into the modified one. This has a handful of really essential upgrades that we do on all of the GTs. So first off, we have on the front of the car, you'll see the HRE P101 wheels. Behind it, we have the Brembo big brake kit. So 20-inch in the front, 21-inch in the rear with the HRE P101s finished in satin black. And then we have the 6-piston 390 rotor in the front and 6-piston 380 rotor in the rear for the Ford GT, specifically from Brembo for this application. So this wheel tire combo as well as brake combo really makes it for a completely different driving experience, makes the car more modern, it handles really well, it stops on a dime, and obviously it looks pretty cool too. Another essential upgrade for these cars is the suspension. With all the cars that we have here, we're doing the KW V3 with the HLS system. So what that is, the HLS stands for hydraulic lift system. Essentially gives you front and rear axle lift just like you would on your modern Porsches, Ferraris, even the new Ford GTs have it as well. But it allows you to get a nice aggressive stance to the car, and then we press a button, boom, everything lifts up. You can get over speed bumps, driveway entrances, exits, things along those lines without screwing up the bottom of your front lip and the bottom of your car. Essentially any car that we put KWs on, it's always been a fantastic ride. The handling has been tight, very direct steering feel. So without a doubt, it's a massive, massive upgrade compared to the 20-year-old technology that comes on this car. All right, now for my favorite part, which is the party in the back, the performance side of this car. So being that this car is a mid-engine, again, V8 supercharged, it comes with a nice blower from the factory. It's okay, 550 horsepower, but we swapped it out. We put on a Whipple blower. So this pushes the car, we had it on the dyno to about 740 wheel horsepower. Boogies, this thing is sick. So the upgraded pulleys, the upgraded supercharger makes a huge difference. Power-wise, just stock for stock, I mean, you're talking about literally 200 horsepower gain on that, which is nuts. So really excited to see that one side by side, because I think that's gonna make a massive, massive difference aside from all the other upgrades. And then also, of course, we wrapped it up. In the back, we have our Boden exhaust system. So this is our titanium system specifically for the GT. It has a substantial weight difference compared to the stock box, which is really huge and heavy. We have this one in particular finished with the brushed gold, which is really cool. And then you'll notice as well, compared to the stock one, This actually has a bumper delete. So instead of having the big ugly US bumper in the rear, we did a bumper delete. It shows the exhaust, has a nice finish to everything, and really wraps up the rear end. We've driven the stock one, we've yapped about what's all been done to this thing, but now I think it's time that we hop in, we drive it, and get a really nice apples to apples comparison of stock versus modified. Obviously, you can already hear it, I'm sure. A little extra cojones with this thing for sure. I haven't driven this car more than around the parking lot, so this is my first time actually really getting to drive this car in particular. First impressions, obviously sound-wise, totally different. The catback that we did completely transforms the driving experience. Way more cabin noise. We did a couple of revs right before leaving here, and it's definitely got some extra kick to it back there. It almost kind of has like a little burble. The suspension feels great. So the KWs, one of my favorite things, touched on it when we were outside the car as well, but one of my favorite things is that this car has a lift. And if you have seen a Ford GT in person, the whole body sits really low to the ground as is. So the clearances are already small, especially like the front lip and the side skirts that are on the car. There's just not a whole lot of room to play. But we have the 4-corner lift. You can actually see it right here. This, from the factory, is actually the location for the cigarette lighter. Quick little downshift to 2. We'll let it rip. Let's hear it. This is a car that requires you to keep full focus. I'm sure I probably look like an idiot right there just because I was trying to make sure to keep this car contained at least a little bit. Okay, supercharger, way different. Way better power with the Whipple. You can hear a lot more of that whine. With the way that these are located, they're right behind your ear. You can actually see the Whipple in the rear view mirror, which is really cool. This car is optioned with the factory, the upgraded sound, so there's a subwoofer right here, but on the base model cars that don't have the subwoofer, it's actually completely deleted, and you can see the entire supercharger assembly, which is really cool.
Do you think it's still dailyable?
Dailyable car? Yeah, maybe. My initial thoughts are yes, this car is super fun to drive. It's not hard to drive. I think that's a major point to kind of like harp on, is that it's not hard to drive. Clutch is easy to use, shifter is easy to use, relatively spacious cabin. As far as daily drivability, it's gonna be on the GT, the non-GTX, it's gonna be the doors that go into the roof. Love-hate relationship. I won't say exclusively hate, but love-hate relationship with the GT. So we'll see it with the GTX 1, but with the removable top and having a normal door without having these, it's kind of like a head clunking. Look at that, took the train tracks no problem. Without having these doors that are the factory stock GT doors, they suck. So parallel parking sucks. Any normal parking lot aside from valet sucks. It's just really hard to do. Maybe we'll get it in a video when we're done, but aside from that, daily ability of the car, totally. The power is great. The Whipple supercharger adds on additional 200 horsepower, but since it's a supercharger, not a twin turbo, it's linear, so that's spread out throughout the entire power band. So it's not like all of a sudden, you know, you're getting an extra 200 horsepower at low end, mid end, and top. It's spread out really nice and evenly. It drives great. I mean, it drives so smooth. It sounds so good. Braking's good. I mean, this feels like it could be a modern car, short of like, I don't know, CarPlay or something like that. But this car drives so well. It's so fun. Overall, the stock car, good. This, I would say great. I would put this, I would rate this as a A- to an A on a scale, just with the only drawbacks being the doors. And that's, all things considered, that's a pretty darn good grade. I'm curious to see, we'll hop into GTX in a minute, but I'm curious to see how that'll be stacking up side by side with all that additional power, having the twin turbo, having the GTX with the roof, and as well as with the door functionality, which are big pluses in my book. But also, like, if we're talking practicality, GTX is a whole different beast. And last but certainly not least is the GTX 1. So this thing has a ton of upgrades to it. Like, I'm talking like pages and pages and pages and pages of upgrades. You're probably thinking, Kevin, you're so smart. Why do you keep saying GTX 1 when it's a 4GT? GTX 1 is intentional. It was a very small commissioned number of cars that were actually, you'll see it up top, essentially like a convertible. It's a modular hardtop. There's like a T-top version. There's a removable middle. It's a weird blend, but essentially, instead of these big gaping, almost like jet doors that are on the GTs, it's a convertible with a normal opening door. It's unique, it's different. Honestly, I prefer it 10 times over the normal GT. However, they're super limited production. I think there was like less than 35 that were ever made. As mentioned, a million things that have been done to this car. Notably, GTX 1. Second note, Hefner twin turbo kit. This is a twin turbo kit. 1,200 horsepower from the friends over at Hefner. This car is nuts. This car has so much power. It's rear wheel drive. It's boost by gear. And so I think at like third gear, midway through third gear is when boost really hits, because otherwise you are smoking the absolute out of these tires in first, second, and third. So once boost kicks in, it's crazy. Crazy is the best way I think you can really describe this car in a nutshell. So obviously it's got HRE wheels on it. It's got Brembos as well. This does have the same KW suspension that we put on the black modified one as well. So it's gonna have a similar driving experience in that regard, but this thing is a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of power, and it's a whole lot of responsibility that I'm gonna have to refrain from going completely balls to the wall on. I think we can talk about this in a future video, which we'll have on the YouTube channel, in more depth and going through really everything that's been done top to bottom. However, we don't have time for that today. We're trying to compare 3 different cars. So now we got to get in number 3 and take it for a spin. Third and final vehicle is the GTX 1. We are out. This car is much louder. A couple things that we've kind of touched on earlier. Hefner twin turbo kit, tuned to 1,200 horsepower, detuned a little bit right now for more practical driving, boost by gear, still has KWs with the hydraulic lift. It's got Brembo big brake kit, it's got the full titanium work by us on the exhaust, all of the turbo piping, everything that's under the hood. Under the hatch, everything is 24 karat gold plated. It is extra in all the right ways. This thing's a monster. I mean, even just compared to the black car, which is similar upgrades, you know, suspension wise, this feels more raw. I honestly think this makes a big difference. You can hear the turbo even just like, you can hear the turbos even just when you're idling and like coasting. It gives it the little pops and burbles that you get out of the more modern turbo cars. It sounds awesome. Honestly, driving wise, it's pretty easy. A lot of times when you're in bigger turboed cars of this nature, it takes away the drivability, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how easy and smooth this car is to drive. Some important things to note, the center console is actually black instead of the silver that comes normal on the GTs. I don't know if that's a GTX 1 specific thing or not, but I think that's a huge pro. Big benefit. Clutch is surprisingly easy to drive. Not that heavy, but heavy enough. Sounds. Sounds phenomenal. I use that in the most honest way. This thing sounds freaking crazy. Pulls like a bat out of hell. The boost by gear is awesome because it allows you to push it down and then it kicks. This thing sounds so good. Like, I cannot emphasize how good this sounds. Supercharger sounds great, don't get me wrong. Twin turbo blows it out of the water. I want to just row gears in this thing all day. I mean, this is like, this car is ridiculous. Like, the cool thing with the boost by gear, I was gonna try and talk about it back there, but it doesn't really allow you to. But effectively how boost by gear works is that it tapers the amount of boost that the turbos are pushing through based on where you are in the gear range. So if you're getting all power, like a normal car would give you full power at all times, and it's more throttle managed. With boost by gear, the actual ECU of the car will limit how much boost gets put in, and the tuner effectively sets the car up so you get the max amount of power and torque relative to what the car can handle. So if you're at 1200 horsepower and you're going to be roasting first gear all day, especially it's like borderline unmanageable when you're trying to drive a manual transmission car, especially. There's just kind of too much going on. So with boost by gear, it allows it to ease on the amount of boost that's getting put first gear, second gear, and typically by third gear or so, it allows you for full boost. So what that allows you to do is it makes the car much more practical, much more functional to drive. It makes it much easier to just kind of control that power. So by the time you're at third gear, you're going a higher rate of speed, and that boost is hitting and that turbo is working at full capacity. It's much easier to handle versus just blowing your tires off in gears 1, 2, and 3. It allows you to really maximize that power in a more manageable form. Ooh, cool 993 C4S, that's cool. But I mean, this car is balls, man. It's got balls. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. What would you say?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
As soon as you stepped on it, I mean, it was insane.
Yeah, it gets the attention for sure. It's by no means a subtle looking car or a subtle sounding car, but I'll be damned if this thing is not, I mean, 150, 200 grand over a stock car. This, every single penny this thing rips. So I mean, downshifts are so fun. A little just ease into it. I mean, this thing wants to go. It just wants to go. It's so violent. Mid-engine, torquey, phenomenal sound, manual transmission, like bare bones kind of car. That is everything I want out of a car. This is a perfect weekend fun car. I mean, like, would I daily drive this? Realistically, no. Would I Friday through Sunday drive this? Realistically, absolutely. This thing's like, we get a little jaded and a little numb to like cool cars because we get to do this all day, every day, and very fortunate to be able to do that. Don't want to take it away, but it takes a lot for a car to really like make you feel something for us, and this is checking off so many blocks right now. And do I think every GT owner should not get twin turbos like this? Because this is a lot of car to handle. I mean, if you're, no offense to our 85-year-old demographic that's probably not on this YouTube channel, just like our high demographic of female watchers too, that's gonna be too much car. But 16-year-old, too much car. Don't get this for your kid. Also, don't get your kid a Ford GT. But if you're someone who has experience with driving higher horsepower cars, wants something that's going to be more visceral and very involved and engaging, 100%, I would say get this ASAP. I mean, it is so cool. And like I said, it's easy to drive. A lot of twin turbo cars are really hard to drive. Upgraded twin turbos, I should say. But the tune is really nice. It's super smooth. Power delivery is great. Like I said, clutch is heavy, but not too heavy. I mean, if I had 500, 600 grand for a Ford GT and an extra 150 to 200 to throw on mods, 100% I would be getting a Hefner twin turbo kit. I would be getting the suspension. I'd be getting the brakes. I'd be getting the wheels. All the carbon stuff is awesome. I mean, this is like, when you talk about checking off the blocks, This is it. This is good. Now that we've driven all 3 cars, we're gonna head back to the shop. We're gonna sit down and compare them because now we have 3 totally different examples. We have a dead stock Ford GT, fully stock. We have a modified Ford GT, Whipple supercharger, KW suspension, Brembo brakes, HRE wheels. And then we have a balls to the wall, you name it, we've done it, Ford GT X1 that has the twin turbo kit. It's got the carbon, it's got all the bells and whistles. It's got every upgrade you can really think of and do to this car. Determine what is truly the best GT. All right, we've driven all 3 GTs. We've seen the practicality, we've seen the reliability, the functionality, all the cool adjectives that we can use to describe these things. So we've done the stock car, we've done the modified, and we've done the heavily modified. So we can really compare what our favorite one was. For me, I think it's pretty obvious. The GTX one takes the cake by a mile. I think the modified GT was great. Stock one is stock. So, you know, when you factor in obviously cost, value, resale value, cost of mods, you know, the reversibility of things, driving as far as a practical daily driver car, there's a lot to consider. But for me, the GTX one just blows it all out of the water. It's so fun, the sounds, the visceral feeling of being involved in that car is very engaging. And for me, that completely, you know, that takes the cake. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think is your favorite. If you had a choice between the 3, I'm guessing not too many guys are going with the stock car, but we'll see. The black car obviously has a ton of pros in its own version as well. So there's lots of pros, lots of cons, but you guys let us know what your favorite one is and why. We appreciate you sticking around, making our videos super fun. We love the comments and interacting with you guys. We got a lot of cool videos coming up, both in the next couple of weeks, but also the rest of this year. We got some crazy projects that we're gonna keep you guys involved with. So again, thank you as always for sticking around. We'll see you in the next one.